B2B marketing is not something you can just learn at school. It's usually a field that you fall into like I did. So if you're trying to learn more about what is B2B marketing, how is it different from B2C marketing, a Google search will probably give you a ton of really in-depth articles with a lot of acronyms and marketing jargon. You'll probably think this is a really complex and kind of boring field, but I can assure you it's not that complex. It doesn't have to be boring. My name is Bing Bing. I've been working in B2B and B2C marketing for over 15 years now. I've managed and consulted teams in both large tech as well as startups, and I also hold an MBA with a focus in marketing. And what I can tell you from all my years of experience is that fundamentally B2B marketing and B2C marketing share the same end goal. That is to convince your customer that you are the best at solving their pain. In fact, if you approached B2B marketing like you would B2C, you'd probably be a lot more successful than your competitors. And so in this video, I'm going to take you through the 4 ways that B2B marketing is different from B2C, and I'll try to skip all the marketing jargon. Number 1, B2B marketing targets a much longer buying journey than B2C marketing. So just as an example, say that you are the owner of a real estate company and your customers are landlords and you use a CRM software to house all their data, all their properties, and that's how you get your work done. Say that as your agency scales, you outgrow the CRM. You're in the market maybe to get another one, another provider, but you're not going to make that switch overnight. And the reason is because there are big long-term consequences negatively impact your business if you were to choose incorrectly. For example, your staff would need to be retrained on the new software. Data would have to be migrated without duplications or mistakes. New software could be expensive. You could be locked into a really long-term contract. And so when the stakes are really high, it's very common for the business decision to be months or years later. That means that for us marketers in the B2B space, we factor this into our planning, and we know that it will take multiple interactions before we can gain the trust and gain that final purchase in the end. So we tend to think of this long game as a funnel. At the top, we have the awareness stage where we're making people aware of who we are and what we do. The next phase is the consideration phase, where they might be considering a couple of options of who to go with. And finally, you have the decision phase where they're really serious about who to partner up with. So you can think of B2B marketing metaphorically just like you would dating. You don't want to propose on the first date. That would be a little weird. It could happen, but it's rare. You just need to show how consistently amazing you are, and you're going to be judged by your worst flaw. Number 2, B2B marketing and sales teams have to be aligned. They need to know what the other team is doing. This is so that if a lead comes in from marketing, sales can pick it up. And unlike in B2C marketing, where the marketing team can just do their own thing because customers can shop directly online, in B2B marketing, the sales teams have to also help nurture that relationship. That means being there to answer questions, abilities for bespoke capabilities, giving demos. And so we expect that a prospect will be bouncing back and forth between marketing and sales for quite some time. The third difference is that the call to action in B2B marketing can be quite varied. The call to action is essentially the action that you want your prospect to take after interacting with you or seeing a piece of your content. So if it were a B2C campaign, say that we're in the business of selling teeth whitening strips, the call to action is probably shop now. You can do it on Instagram or do it on their website. But in B2B, the goal is really usually to get them to the next conversation, to just keep being on their good side, gaining their trust. So what that would look like could be, you're on their website and it says, sign up for our newsletter. The purpose of that newsletter is to showcase their thought leadership in this industry. They'll be top of mind when you're ready to purchase as the prospect. It could be that you saw them on LinkedIn and the call to action is, come check out our video on YouTube where we show you how easy our software is to use. Or it could be, you receive direct mail and it says, talk to our sales team, because maybe the direct mail was targeted to those who are ready to buy in the next 6 months. Now, the call to action is something that we look at in metrics when we're trying to see how well we did in certain campaigns. And that brings me fourth and final difference, which is that B2B marketing has different performance metrics. There are some overlap in overall digital campaigns. In both B2B and B2C, you will be looking at things like impressions, clicks, clicks, click-through rates. But the biggest one that we look at in B2B that we don't look at in B2C is called customer lifetime value, CLV. Customer lifetime value is the monetary amount that your customer is worth to you over the entire lifetime of your relationship. If you don't calculate this, or if you calculate it incorrectly, you might run into a situation where you say, hey, I have a lot of customers coming in, but I don't have a lot of profits. And so the best way to calculate it is to include also the expenses that are needed to maintain that relationship with this customer over the entire lifetime. So if you stuck with me to the end, congratulations for having the patience listening to all four. If you have any questions on B2B marketing, write them below, and I'll be sure to come out with more B2B marketing content. Thank you.